Hello everyone, this is Fabio Carvalho and you're watching now Adisra SmartView Course. Today's topic is the object MultiTagViewer. We'll start talking about the MultiTagViewer properties available and we'll take a look at the start production screen that I prepared in advance before recording this video. This new screen displays the list of recipes in a combo box, and as soon as the user selects one, the values loaded are displayed in multiple MultiTagViewers. With the data loaded, the user can check if the recipe values are okay, and then a new production can be started. For our demo, we'll configure a new MultiTagViewer apart from the ones already configured, and I will show you how to change the values using an expression. So let's open the new screen. Start production. As I said, we have a combo box, which will be displaying all the recipes created, and as soon as we change the value of the selected item, we will be changing the values on the MultiTagViewers here. I already prepared 4 of them, and I'll be creating a new one so we can take a look at the properties and we can also configure a tag here. So this object mainly is designed to display arrays, but you can also use it to display values from a simple tag. As soon as we put an array, the rows of the MultiTagViewer are going to be each position of this array, and the columns are going to be whatever you select. So maybe you want to display only one column, you can configure this way. If you want to display all the properties of a data type, maybe you can put on the columns as well. And you can also use the properties of a tag. The properties of a tag can be initial value, or maybe the minimum or the maximum for this tag, or simply the value of it, or maybe the quality. So you can put any properties of a tag as well. So in our example, I'll be adding the tag called configuration recipe, which is a data type. I don't know if you remember this one, but let's take a look. It's under factor globals, and we have configuration recipe, which is a tag of beer recipe data type. The beer recipe data type, if we take a look, it consists of 4 tags of data types and a simple string called recipe name. We'll be working on that MultiTagViewer with the meshing recipe, which is also data type. And inside the meshing recipe, we have just one tag of type float called water volume. And we're going to put this tag on the MultiTagViewer. So let's close it and go back. I already put the tag configuration recipe. We just need to expand here. I'm gonna give some more room. I'm gonna expand meshing recipe, and we have the water volume. And now we need to select what property of the water volume we want to show. I'm gonna expand. As I said, we have min value, max value. I'm gonna choose the value itself, and I just want one column. If I wanted more, I could just bring to the right and configure these 2 columns or more. But I'm going to keep only the value. Let's go to the configuration of this column. So in the path, in this combo box, we would see all the columns that were added in the grid. Right now we only have one, so I can change the header. Pay attention to the MultiTagViewer here, and I'm going to put just water v. I can change the width. I can put 100. We can change the type. I'm gonna keep it as text, but it could be a button, it could be an image or checkbox, or maybe a combo box if it was an array, for example. And we can change the select text on focus. I'm gonna change this, and I'm gonna keep it visible. We can also change the background color and the foreground color and the header alignment. I'm gonna put on center, and something interesting here is the text. What we want to display on the row here. Right now, as you can see, I'm going to expand here, we're using the val. The val is actually what we can see, let me close it, what we can see on the path. So it's the meshing recipe dot water volume dot value. So this is the val that we see on the text, but we can also put an expression here. First, let's just run it, and you're going to see the val. And after that we're gonna put an expression so you can understand what can be configured there. Just running it. Okay, application just started. I'm going to the process screen, and I configured in this button here to open the start production. So I'm gonna click, and this is the screen that we're working on. As you can see right now it's 0 because there's no recipe selected. I'm gonna select 1 Pilsen, and you can see that the water volume now is 20. So I'm just gonna close it now, and we'll play a little bit with the expressions. Let me put two of this MultiTagViewer side by side, and I'm gonna configure in one. It's just gonna be a test. I'm probably not gonna keep this, but this is not a common C# script as we can write in other scripts. This is really an expression. So if you want to change the value that is going to be displayed, we need to give a value to the val. As you can see in the parameters here, the object val is a ref object val. So it means that we are passing by reference. So whenever we change the value of the val, this is what's going to be displayed. So if I put val equals 15, we're going to be displaying 15. If I put val, and we can create an expression here. I'm gonna do an expression with the tag. I cannot use the val on the right side, only on the left side to receive values. So let's put configuration recipe dot meshing recipe dot water volume, right? So I want to change the water volume. If it's less than 10, I'm gonna show then, and this is the syntax of the expressions on C#. I wanna show, could be a string, it doesn't matter, could be a value, a float or an integer. I wanna put a string here low if it's less than 10, and if it's greater than 10 you put a column, and this is the else, you just put high. I'm gonna validate, everything is okay, and I'm gonna click OK here. On the right side I'm gonna configure as well, but this time I'm gonna do something different. I'm just gonna increment the value, the current value. So this equals configuration recipe dot meshing dot water volume plus 10. So I'm gonna validate. It's not an expression like the C# that we just did on the previous one, but this is just giving increment to the current value of the tag. So validate, everything is okay. I'm gonna save it, and we're ready to run. Let's run it. Okay, application started. Let's go to the process screen and open the start production. And as you can see, it's already low, and the water volume right now is 10, so it's 0 plus 10. Let's change it to Pilsen. Now it's high because it's 20, and we're incrementing by 10, so 20 plus 10, it's equals 30. So you just saw two ways we can change the values that are going to be displayed, or we can keep the original value of them, like the other MultiTagViewers. And let's take a look. As you can see here, in the first one we have a checkbox, it doesn't have a header, and I'm gonna close it now, and let's go back to the engineering. And I'm gonna select the first MultiTagViewer. This one I selected 6 values to be showed, and they become 6 columns. So the first column, let's select here, is the checkbox. As you can see, I removed the header. I didn't want any header for that. I decreased the value of the width. I disabled input enable because this screen is just for conference. I don't want anyone changing actually the value. And it's visible. I also removed the text. We could have the checkbox with a val next to it. As you can see here, now it appeared val. If I increase it a little bit, you're gonna be able to see that the checkbox contains also a label next to it, but I don't want to see any labels, so that's why I remove it, and I removed the text. Okay, these are very simple to configure and very easy to use and very flexible. If you have an array and you want to represent that on the interface, you can use this object really easily. Just need to pass the tag to the grid configuration and select whatever you want to show. So now let's take a look at the rest of the properties here, but most of them are very basic, like the fonts we can change. We can get the selected index. Let's say you are clicking in different rows whenever you have an array. So you can also put a tag here and get the selected index. I didn't talk about the text, for example, but you also have the index here, so you will know what's the current index for that row, and you can also make use of it maybe in the expression, and you want to have access to the value of the tag on that index. And some other features like the row height you can change. You can show or hide the headers or the grid lines. You can put a tooltip, enable, disable, as all of the objects that you have seen before. And we have many brushes to change, so very flexible. And at the end, as all objects have, you can also configure the security. As you can see, both expressions worked, and the MultiTagViewer is a great tool, not only for displaying arrays but also for simple tags. And I'm pretty sure that you're gonna like this object. So thanks a lot for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and bye bye.